bike. Technically, I didn't actually buy a bike. A very kind girl gave me a bike. It used to be her grandmother's, and as you can see, it's no longer really functioning. So she gave it to me to look after. And I'm going to try my best. Makes sense. Okay, important to note, I don't know very much about bikes on the whole, but I do know quite a lot about fixing things, and I enjoy fixing things. And my family happens to love bikes, almost all of them. So between my brain and theirs, I feel like I'm pretty well equipped. The bike seems to not be in ideal shape, but there's definitely stuff to work with. Let's talk about the bike. It is a Pashley, hand built by Pashley of Stratford-upon-Avon in England, and it turns out they are England's longest standing bike manufacturer. And they're still manufacturing these bikes by hand today. Not exactly like this, still nice ones. There are some interesting features about this bike that I can only assume are old-fashioned because I haven't seen them before. These brakes are lovely. These sort of, I don't even know what you describe them as, pull-up brakes that fly along with the handlebars. They're great fun. Do absolutely nothing, but when you pull it up it should clamp down on the wheel here and stop. It did stop it. It did stop it. It didn't stop it when I was pushing it. The saddle is Brooks, who I happen to love. Old English leather manufacturer of saddles, classic saddles. This one has swallowed more rainwater than it ever should have and is going to be really hard to do anything with. That might have to be a replacement job. I'll look into it. Then we've got very neat and elegant sort of rear hub gear where all the gears are enclosed within the rear hub, which is lovely but really hard to bloody fix, and I think that's what's making that sort of really grating noise as I'm pushing it along. There's a lot of rust going on, which I don't mind aesthetically, but I don't want it to continue to corrode anywhere, so I'm going to have to clean that up and treat that. And then the gear shifter, it should be 3-speed, but that just doesn't move at the moment, so we'll have to do something about that. And then either the wheels are completely misaligned or the mud guards are completely bent out of shape. I'm not sure which. So what are the order of events? There are a few things I'm a bit worried about now I've sat down. I'm worried that the seat tube, and you'll have to excuse if my terminology is off, but the seat tube, I'm worried it might have fused into the frame, which will be a real pain to get out. And then I'm a bit worried about some of the axles and the bearing, having to replace the bearings and stuff like that, which will be somewhat of a pain, but we can get it done regardless. I don't think it's worth cleaning despite needing one quite yet. until I understand what I'm going to do to fix it up. There was a funny moment when I bought it where the girl bought it. Got very kindly given it. Where the girl was to say, "Where are you taking it to?" And I said "Where?" And she was like, "No way. That's where my granny used to live. That's where she rode this bike. That's where this bike lived." The chances of that, unbelievable. So as I left her, the bike, meant something to her and her family, and she was like, it's sort of like it's going home, which I thought was very sweet. So welcome home, bike. Let's get you back on your wheels. So the first thing I'm going to attempt is just a bit of WD-40, some blue roll to clean it up, and see if I can ease up the friction. It just sounds really gritty. It's definitely smoother now. But there's so much friction in there. It might have to be a disassemble job. Let's start elsewhere. Last one fit for you. Oh my gosh. It moves. That is step one, it moves. Brilliant. Oh, even better. This moves. It's going to take more heft than I can give it on here, but it moves. Phew. Okay. Good. Things we can work with here. Things we can work with. Someone just cycled past and stopped to look at the bike, and he was like, wow, it's beautiful. And then he looked at the rear hub, which is what I'm having trouble with. He said, oh wow, is that an original Sterling Archer? I didn't know that was a thing. Seemingly that's quite a special thing, and these used to be made in England, are now made in China, and the old English ones are somewhat sought after. I need to work out how to properly clean that up. Good bit of kit. Right. That's just about high enough for me to sit on. I don't need it to be perfect just yet. Baby steps. We'll get there. Brakes. Gearing. Tyres and inner tubes. Cleaning. Saddle. Mud guards. Lubricating all the axles. Bell. Got you to put a basket on here at some point. I think this is supposed to be the hammer, and you're meant to pull this through. This pivots to hit that into the bell, but there's a lot of corrosion in here. It's a nice mechanism, just a rust bowl. Right, I've got a decent idea about what's going on now. I can't work on it anymore today, but I can go away and sort of research and find out about how all these little bits and bobs work, and come back to it and sort it out. So, for now this is where we stand, but I'll be back on this soon. I'm excited. It's so beautiful.